guys, it's M Squared. Welcome or welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you made it here, congratulations, you've officially stumbled into our Narnia meets Mushroom Village meets Cozy Cottage Core Tavern. In this video, we are celebrating the God-given gift of autumn. It's such an amazing season with the smell of burning leaves and the leaves changing color and the sun going down a bit faster and just the coziness of it all, huddled around maybe a fireplace or wrapped up in a blanket. It's just a top tier season. After getting out of college lectures, we immediately got to work on setting up the celebration of the autumnal equinox. To set the mood, of course, we lit some candles and immediately got started on prepping the vegetables and the dough and all of the good stuff. To start off, we peeled some apples and cut them up because we are prepping for the apple butter cinnamon rolls. On the menu for our cozy little tavern, we have cozy lasagna soup and stuffed mini peppers, and like I said, the apple butter cinnamon rolls, all from scratch. We used all red apples, but you can use whatever variety of apples you would like. Gala, Pink Lady, Granny Smith, whatever you have on hand. Honestly, the more variety, the better, because you can just get loads and loads of flavor. Switching over to the more savory side of the menu, we started prepping some vegetables, which was really just onion and garlic. Of course, I peeled it and washed it because if you're not washing your vegetables, then you're eating dirt. But anyways, you could really just put any vegetables you want in there, maybe some zucchini, some bell pepper, whatever you're feeling, whatever's on your taste buds, but this is what you wanted. And of course, my eyes were burning because this particular onion was quite strong. But of course, just you gotta get through it. At this point, I was just cutting onions blindly, which probably wasn't the best choice, but you gotta do what you gotta do. back to the sweeter side of the menu, we went ahead and put our cut up apples into a pot. The apples are going to eventually condense down after they stewed for a while, and we just put some spices, some sweetener in it, and pretty much just left it alone because that's all you need to do for apple butter. After prepping all the vegetables, I just put it in a pot with some olive oil and gave it a quick little stir just to coat the vegetables in the oil. And then we're just gonna let that saute brown, get a little translucent for the onions, and let that just kind of fill the house with the amazing aroma of sauteed onions. And if you haven't noticed, there is no sound in the beginning of the video because we're still new to our camera, so we didn't know that when we started filming, the camera was still in slow motion. So the first half of the video, all of that was in slow motion, so whoever was editing had to speed up on like 2 times speed to make sure that the movement actually matched, and the slow motion mode on our camera does not have sound. So we were just kind of stuck with not having sound for our first half of the video. So we really hope that you can just imagine the amazing sizzling sounds of onion and garlic and for the apples because they became so stewy and liquidy for that liquid gold. We can only hope that you can imagine the bubbling and boiling sounds. After kind of switching all over the place from the onions and the apples to prepping the yeast mixture for the dough, a bit of kitchen chaos, we started with the cinnamon roll dough. We put some flour into our yeast mixture, gave that a little stir just to leave her alone a little bit. We did use a rubber spatula just because it's a bit easier to use rather than maybe a wooden spoon or a metal spoon. It's just what works for us. We gave the dough a rough stir and maybe just kneaded it just a little bit just so then it could save its moisture and do what it needed to do. Then going back to the lasagna soup, I did need a lot of inspiration because when I'm cooking, I don't usually follow directions. I mean, cooking is cooking, but baking is raw. So you do have to follow directions for baking. But like I said, I needed some inspiration. So of course I went to Pinterest. By the way, follow our Pinterest. Anyways, I just looked up a couple recipes just so that I can get an idea of what I need to do next. I did put some ground meat in there, which happened to be turkey because that's what we had on hand, and then I put some crushed tomatoes to make the base sauce. I do recommend making a bit more of that sauce than I did because I did end up needing to add a little bit more. I did put some tomato paste, the crushed tomatoes like I said, and then you're going to need some broth on hand just so that you can have a good amount of soup for your base so that way your noodles can boil with the time that you need. And of course, I stole a little taste just so that I can know what I'm working with, how I need to flavor it. really even if it needs any more seasonings, because you know what, I really am just that good. Then we started prepping our mini peppers, which is really just cutting off the top of it and then cleaning out the rest of it from the inside so we can get our mini peppers ready to be stuffed with meat. Then switching back over to the lasagna soup, which was complete chaos. Like I said, I did have to add a bit more broth and a bit more of the sauce so that way I could actually have enough broth for the noodles to boil. The broth was boiling all over the place. I was wearing a clean sweater. The broth was getting all over my sweater. So of course I had to wash my sweater and try to get the stains out. But all is good. I got the lasagna noodles and just kind of snapped them in like 1 inch width sizes. I do think that I could have gone smaller, but it's really just to your preference on how big you want the noodles. Then I got started on the ricotta mixture that was going to be used as a topping for the lasagna soup. I just put the whole tub of ricotta in there, and then I put some shredded cheese in there. Couldn't really remember if it was Parmesan or Asiago, but really you can just use either one or both if you would like to. And I just shredded that in there, put some parsley, salt and pepper for flavor, and just mixed it up. Honestly, everything in this video was kind of giving chaotic academia because we were just kind of everywhere, bumping into each other, trying to set up the camera. But you know what? It's what you do for the content. After setting up the ricotta mixture, we went ahead and finished up doing the mini peppers. As you can see, we just took a sandwich bag, cut off the tip of it, and just filled the peppers up. And then after that, the soup was pretty much done after the noodles were ready. I added some heavy cream just to really get that tomatoey, creamy taste and flavor. And it's turned out really good, especially for it being my first time. And then the apples were done after they stewed and really just condensed for like probably an hour, honestly. We put them in like a food processor slash blender because that's just what we had on hand. But honestly, you could use an emulsifier if you have it. But this is what we had on hand and we just made it work. After the dough was finished rising, we kneaded it, rolled it up, floured up the table, and rolled it out. So as you can see, unfortunately, I don't think we made enough apple butter because you can see the apple butter is just splat in the center and there's just a bunch of dough left. And we did end up cutting off the excess dough because what were we going to do with it? Make rolled up dough? I think not. So we just kept going with the flow, rolled up the dough, and honestly, we just winged it. And we cut up the rolls, hopefully in even widths, but whoever gets a bigger one gets a bigger one. So we did grease the pan just to make sure that the cinnamon rolls don't end up sticking to the pan. And then we just kind of went, I think 3 by 3. Obviously the pan could fit a bit more, but that's just how many cinnamon rolls it came out to be. And then you can see myself trying to get some content for Instagram. And if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and go check out our video. It was really fun to make. And we just finished soaking the cinnamon rolls in a pan and started with our chai lattes. Honestly, we take our chai kind of serious around here. We didn't have much of the Tazo tea left. That was just hanging in our refrigerator. So my sister did brew some chai tea and we just ran with that. Honestly, at this point, our house was smelling like a tavern, really, that you would just stumble upon in the woods and just go there for some comfort food and some guidance. I don't know, but the cinnamon rolls were having a dramatic entrance. The chai lattes were going crazy, and the lasagna soup was just like really making everything come together. And then we just had a whole spread on the table. The bowl that we're showing is our mom's. She was really excited to have what we made, especially because most of everything that was on the table was pretty new. And we had a bunch of fun and watched some fall movies like New Moon. If you're confused by the order of the clips, so were we. And that's okay. It's the aesthetic that counts. Thanks for stopping by our little tavern in the woods. Please come again. We accept our payments in follows and shifts. We hope your fall is gentle, warm, and full of little celebrations like this. See you next video.